Power isn't handed down. It isn't gifted by legacy or inherited by luck. And it's certainly not reserved for the loudest voice or the most charming face. According to Niccolo Machiavelli, the man who broke open the inner workings of fear, control, and dominance, power is built, brick by brutal brick, through relentless self-engineering. Not through charisma, not through blind ambition, but through habits honed so sharp they carve through mediocrity like a blade through silk. In The Prince, Machiavelli didn't talk about morning routines or hustle culture. He spoke in codes, deep patterns, subconscious rituals that forge a person others don't just notice, they obey. This isn't productivity advice. This is a blueprint for transformation. If you're tired of being talked over by louder men, dismissed in rooms where you should be feared, or drained by people who offer nothing in return, then this is where it begins. You install the Machiavellian habits of the powerful. Habit 1. Control your face before you ever try to control the room. Walk into any room, and the first thing people scan isn't your words, it's your face. The stillness, the cracks, the tells. Because whether you know it or not, your face is the first battlefield. And for the powerful, it's the first line of defense. Machiavelli warned, show them your emotions and they'll read your thoughts. And once they can read your thoughts, they can bend them. This is why your first ritual, before posture, before strategy, is this: emotional neutrality. No fidgeting, no darting glances, no wide eyes or guilty smirks searching for approval. None of it. Praise, you stay still. Disrespect, you don't blink. Tension, you don't flinch. Because in power dynamics, the person who reacts first loses first. Your stillness becomes a shield. And over time, that unreadable expression becomes unnerving. People can't gauge what you're thinking. They can't sense if they've rattled you, and that unknown starts working for you. Because here's the truth. People obey what they can't decode. They second-guess their tone around you. They tread lighter in your presence. Not because you said anything, but because your silence says everything. This is why powerful people don't just speak less. They leak less. Every expression, every flicker, every muscle twitch is information, and information is leverage, for someone else or for you. Train your face to give away nothing. Make it a mask forged in fire, and you'll find the room begins adjusting itself around your stillness. Habit 2. Think in terms of leverage, not labor. Most people are trapped in the wrong question. How hard do I have to work to win? The powerful don't ask that. They ask, where's the lever? Because power isn't built on effort. It's built on impact per move. Machiavelli made it clear, you don't try to do everything. You identify what moves everything. This means scanning your world like a tactician. Looking for pressure points, the alliance that shifts social hierarchy, the one sentence that reframes perception, the strategy that, once in place, makes competition irrelevant. You don't chase more hours, you chase multipliers. 1 move, 10 consequences, 1 decision. Total positioning shift. This is how a general wins a war before stepping on the battlefield. Not by rushing forward, but by placing one unit in the exact place that collapses the enemy line. Real-world example? You could grind for 1,000 followers a day. Or you could create one piece that gets shared by someone with 1 million. That's leverage, not labor. So, every day, ask yourself, what is the one move today that makes everything else easier or irrelevant? And then, do only that. Not everything deserves your effort. Most things are noise, but the right move, at the right time, with the right angle. That's power. Because kings don't lift the kingdom. They pull the lever, and the kingdom moves for them. Habit 3. Speak rarely, Watch always. Control everything. In a room full of noise, the one who speaks least pulls the strings. Machiavelli made it clear. Talk too much, and you bleed power with every word. Reveal too much, and you give others the blueprint to manipulate you. That's why the powerful don't speak to be heard. They speak to end the conversation. Their words are chosen like weapons. Minimal, measured, unmistakable. This is your new habit. Deliberate speech, ruthless silence. Cut your sentences in half. Strip away softeners like I think, just, or kind of. They dilute authority. They announce doubt before you've even finished speaking. Now, here's the paradox. The less you speak, the more you see. While others fill the air trying to prove themselves, you're scanning what they want, what they fear, where their voice shakes or their eyes flinch. You let them hand you the blueprint to their mind while you give them nothing back. This isn't passivity, it's precision. You're not quiet because you're timid. You're quiet because you're calculating. And here's the real secret. Silence creates weight. It makes people lean in. It forces them to interpret. It turns every word you do say into something they have to remember. Because in a world addicted to noise, quiet is power. And when you finally speak, you don't add to the room. You reshape it. Habit 4. Be feared for what you might do, not what you've already done. Fear doesn't come from what people know about you. It comes from what they can't figure out. People aren't scared of rage. They're scared of silence that hides something worse, something calculated, something you're not showing yet. Machiavelli understood this. A reputation built on mystery will always outrank a resume built on achievement. So you don't showcase everything. You don't clarify rumors. You don't post every win or correct every lie. You let people wonder, what happens if he stops holding back? What if she's more dangerous than we thought? Let them ask questions with no answers. Let uncertainty spread in your absence, because unpredictability isn't chaos. It's control in disguise. Never be too obvious. Never be too available. Never let them map your next move. You become a force they can't measure, so they fear the cost of provoking you, because here's the truth. The visible version of you can be analyzed, prepared for, even challenged. But the unseen version, the one they can't predict, that version is untouchable. The mystery isn't an accessory, it's the weapon. And once they start whispering about what you might do, you've already won the psychological war. Habit 5. Make yourself rare, then make yourself irreplaceable. Machiavelli said it plainly, a prince should be seen, but not touched. Because access dilutes value. The more they can reach you, the less they respect you. So the powerful do something most never dare. They build dual armor, scarcity, and necessity. They're not at every meeting. They're not responding to every ping, every invite, every distraction. They're selective, and by being selective, they become desirable. And when they do walk into a room, the energy shifts, not because of noise, but because their presence has weight. It costs something. That's not ego. That's strategy. They master a skill no one else can replicate. They own a lane, and suddenly, removing them from the equation creates a problem no one else can solve. They become essential and elusive. That's the formula. Rare enough to miss, critical enough to protect, and here's the result. People stop testing them. They stop taking liberties, and instead they start guarding their access, because when you become both hard to reach and impossible to replace, you don't just walk with power, you become the room's center of gravity. Habit 6. Keep allies close, but always hold the high ground. Powerful people don't walk alone, but don't confuse that with loyalty. They walk with others, never beneath them. Machiavelli didn't romanticize relationships. He understood something most people refuse to admit. Alliances are tools, not altars. The powerful build bonds, yes, but never ones that become emotional cages. They give just enough to build rapport, but not enough to lose leverage. Praise in public, watch in silence. And when the benefit dies, cut the tie. Quietly, clinically, without ceremony. Because power isn't sentimental. It isn't swayed by friendship, flattery, or shared memories. Power doesn't lean, it calculates. This means you don't get attached to your allies. You don't confuse closeness with trust. And you never let connection become a leash that tugs you out of a position. You are the one who observes. You are the one who decides. And you are always prepared to walk away first, because in Machiavellian strategy, relationships are strategic, or they're liabilities. So you hold the high ground, always. And if someone forces you to choose between power and friendship, you already know what wins. Habit 7. Expect betrayal before it happens. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat it. Loyalty is fragile. Not because people are evil, but because ambition changes them. A friend today could be a rival tomorrow, and most never see it coming. But the powerful do, because they don't react emotionally. They observe, they log, they prepare. They train themselves to spot betrayal while it's still forming in the shadows. A slight change in tone. Delayed replies that used to come instantly. Alliances formed without mention. Loyalty returned with excuses, not action. The weak call it paranoia. The powerful call it preparation. Because by the time the knife is drawn, you've already moved, already fortified, already aiming. There's no panic, no drama, only precision. The truth is simple. The man who expects the blade never bleeds. He doesn't wait to be betrayed. He studies the terrain, identifies soft spots, and secures exits long before the first crack appears. This isn't about distrust. It's about political immortality, because betrayal is inevitable. But being caught off guard? That's a choice. Habit 8. React slow, strike once, strike clean. The weak explode, the powerful pause. Machiavelli said, "Men must be caressed or destroyed." Translation? No half measures, no emotional retaliation. You delay, you gather, and then you act. Cold, calculated, irreversible. Others wear themselves out in chaos. You build stillness until the strike ends things. No drama, no noise, just dominance. Habit 9. Control the frame, even in silence. You don't win power by arguing louder. You win by defining what matters before anyone speaks. Even without a word, your posture, stillness, and eye contact set the terms. Your silence dares others to break it, and when you speak, you reframe. That's not the issue. Let's talk about results. This isn't about right or wrong, it's about power. You shape the lens everyone else must see through. Habit 10. Operate in shadows, reward in public. Praise, when seen, becomes currency. Punishment, when unseen, becomes fear. Machiavelli knew what you show and what you hide must be chosen carefully. You make decisions in silence. You deliver rewards in the spotlight. That contrast creates hierarchy. People fear losing your approval and chase it obsessively. Habit 11. Evolve constantly, but quietly. The weak celebrate growth publicly. The powerful upgrade in shadows. They adapt like predators. No announcements, no declarations. One day, they walk in sharper, colder, untouchable. And no one saw it coming. No applause needed, only outcomes. Now begins the transformation phase. Habits are the foundation, but systemization is the weapon. Powerful people don't try to be powerful. They build frameworks that make it automatic. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must prepare for war in times of peace." You don't wait until chaos hits. You train your instinct to act with precision before the pressure comes. You rehearse cold responses. You script composure into your day. You simulate pressure until it stops shaking you, and eventually, power isn't something you perform. It's something your nervous system does on command. You now become your own intelligence agency. Every day you review, where did I tolerate weakness? Who held the frame? Did I respond or react? Each week, audit people, audit patterns, track emotional lapses and adjust your posture. Each month, refine your myth, make your image sharper, rarer, more silent, and more feared. Guard your time like a kingdom. Time is no longer given. It's licensed. Every meeting must pay rent. Every message must earn a reply. Every minute must serve your mission. You become rare by becoming expensive. And in a world of energy leaks, rarity becomes lethal. Master emotional distance. Feel what must be felt, but no one should see it rule you. Anger, guilt, shame. Feel them, but speak none of it. Emotion becomes your fire, not smothered, weaponized. Let your reputation do the talking. The more your name precedes you, the less you have to act. Your absence becomes a threat. Your silence becomes a message. Your boundary becomes legend. And eventually, they adjust themselves before they speak to you. And finally, disappear, then reappear evolved. The weak announce their rise. The powerful rise in silence. One day, they don't recognize you, and by then, it's too late to match you. You've gone from habits to embodied dominance. Now, the room feels you before you speak. Your presence communicates everything: threat, value, mystery. You are no longer just a man. You are a signal. You don't chase power, you radiate it. The final rule: power is rented. The rent is due daily, so each morning, reset, reforge. Don't act powerful. Be someone the world must reckon with. You don't inspire, you command. And from this point forward, you never ask for power again. You move, you speak, you are. And the world adapts. To truly understand how to master these profound principles of power and influence in any situation, delve into Machiavelli's timeless and groundbreaking work, The Prince. Find the link to acquire your copy in the description below. If you see me again, well, congratulations. It means you're starting to think differently. It means you're paying attention. And if that's the case, you already know what to do next. Because in a world full of manipulation, silence, and strategy, you don't follow the noise, you follow the power.